Hey, welcome back to Vintage on Vintage. Today I am doing a VR for James over at Elite Hunters. James, as everybody knows, is a fantastic member of the community. Great guy. Has an amazing collection. He's a dealer. And what he wants us to do is explain why we collect vintage cards. More importantly, he wants us to tell Saul why we collect vintage cards. So Saul, here's why I collect vintage cards. I'm 63 years old. The 50s, 60s, 70s, especially the 60s and 70s, bring me into my childhood. And it just brings me back to a time that I cherish, that's important to me. When I look at the cards I have, it brings me back to a time when my buddies and I would get on our bikes and ride down to the toy store to grab cards. A lot of the best players of the time, like Johnny Bench or Harmon Killebrew. Or the excitement we would have when we got home with the cards and we would rip the packs and share the superstars we'd picked up, potentially trading with one another if we got doubles. Or the chase of trying to pick up the great stars of that time, like Bob Gibson or Mickey Mantle. We played sports year-round. It was wiffle ball in the summer, football, and then basketball. And if we were playing football, we were always trying to emulate the star players of that day, like Gale Sayers or Johnny Unitas. Or maybe instead of those two, we were trying to throw the ball like Roger the Dodger Staubach or Broadway Joe, two of the best quarterbacks of that era. Or maybe it was just sitting down and watching our Rams play and rooting for our Rams, and that fearsome foursome defense that was led by these two, Merlin Olsen and Deacon Jones, and, rooting for them to get to the Super Bowl, and then quite honestly sharing disappointment as they fell short almost every year. Or basketball season, we would be on my buddy Bernie's driveway playing basketball. And, one of us, I think it was my other friend Mike, had a brand new ABA ball, and we loved playing with that ball, the colors. You get the spin going on the rotation. It was just so sweet to watch. We would always try to emulate some of the best, most exciting players of that time, like a Dr. J or a Pete Maravich, who could do magic with the ball, and we would try to do the trick shots to the best of our ability when we were playing. Or maybe it was just rooting for our favorite team, the Los Angeles Lakers, and hoping for them to get that championship, which they finally got. And I finally got to see my favorite player of the time, and maybe of all time, Jerry West, get his championship. Another thing I will tell you is when I was that age, I read about sports, and I was always trying to learn about great players of the past, right? Players like Yogi Berra or Elroy Crazy Legs Hirsch. Or maybe it was just trying to learn more about my Dodgers, right? And especially the ones when they were in Brooklyn, and learning about players like this guy, Roy Campanella, or Duke Snider. And of course, Jackie Robinson. I remember as I was, my favorite player, of course, was Henry Aaron. And as I was trying to learn more about Henry, I also learned about two of the teammates, all-time great teammates he ended up playing with, that I ended up reading more about each of these guys to understand more about the great Ed Matthews or Warren Spahn. I remember when my dad bought me The Science of Hitting by Ted Williams, because he told me, this is the best hitter that ever lived. You should read this book. It'll help you become a better hitter. Or begging my mom to buy cereal with cards in it, so we could get home. And as soon as we got home, you open up the box and you just shoved your hand in there looking for the card until you could get it. Because I didn't care what the cereal was as long as I got the card. I also remember having a debate with my dad about who was the best running back ever. You know, I was a big OJ fan when I was little. He was the best running back I'd ever seen. And although my dad was an OJ fan, he was a big USC fan. He said, "Yep, son, OJ is a great player, but you never saw Jim Brown play. Jim Brown, in my dad's opinion, was the best running back that ever played the game." And then finally, I just remember the night sitting there with my family watching Henry Aaron break Babe Ruth's record. And, you know, it was just amazing. And to me, that's what this is all about, right? That, you know, that was a time when life was simple. And not that life's not great now, because it is. I have a fantastic life. But, you know, that's a time that you never get back. But you can, through cards, I can kind of get in my Back to the Future, my time machine, and go back. And when I look at these cards, it brings me back to that special time when I was there with my buddies, and, you know, carefree, and all we did was sports. So anyway, Saul, that's why I collect vintage. I appreciate everybody giving me the chance to tell why, and for listening. Until we talk again, stay safe, keep collecting. I'll talk to you soon.